Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Today I'm sharing the cards I made using Spellbinders August 2022 card kit of the month, and I'll also be using the August embossing folder of the month. The card kit theme is butterfly sparkle, and there are so many beautiful patterns in this kit. If you are interested in subscribing to any of the club kits, I do have links provided in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get started with card design number 1. I will be using some card sketches for inspiration. If you are interested in any of the card sketches I show in this video, I do share all of that information on my coordinating blog post. That link is provided in the description box below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5.5 inches. For this first card, I selected a beautiful floral pattern paper for the background, added some soft pink and white polka dot paper for the 2 small rectangle pieces, and I am layering everything on black cardstock. The kit does include several sheets of colored cardstock, but I'll be bringing in additional cardstock since I add a lot of layers to my cards. The kit also includes 10 card bases and envelopes. I don't use the card bases for card bases. Instead, I use that cardstock for my images and sentiments. So that's what I use for this white image box. And the card bases do have a nice linen finish on one side. I added this die cut piece of a woman looking at a beautiful pink butterfly. The sentiment is cherish this day, and this is another die cut piece. I did pop it up on some foam dimension. Then to finish off the card, I added a couple of the glitter foam stickers. 2 stars in the upper right hand corner and a little arrow pointing to the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 2, the card sketch is from Sugar Pea Designs. This is Sugar Sketch number 32. I thought this looked like a really fun sketch. The background paper has some leaves and also pink dandelion seeds all over the background. There's also a few little flowers as well. The other pattern paper is sort of a soft burgundy color with a tone-on-tone pattern. I did include measurements on the card sketch, but I found it easier to simply take my scissors and cut that angle at the bottom of the panel. Then I'm layering both of those pattern papers on some burgundy cardstock. I'll also layer the background on some dark green cardstock. Sometimes it's fun to have 2 different cardstock layers. I'll put some ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. For a little extra shine in the card, I'm using some Love from Lizzie peel-offs. This is the clear gold mirror color in the pinstripe style. I'll add 2 of them to the top of this tone-on-tone pattern. I'm using the widest width and also the medium width. And I just use a craft knife to trim off the very end. This is one of my favorite peel-off colors. It's clear in the center and it has the gold foil finish on the very edge. Love from Lizzie also has a silver version. Now I'll bring in a couple of die cut pieces. I have the sentiment Beautiful Dreamer and also a little girl wearing pink butterfly wings. For the banner that's at an angle, I used some pattern paper, this green paper with some small white polka dots, cut a fishtail on the end, adhered it in place, and then added my sentiment die cut piece. The little girl image I did pop up using some foam dimension. I'll also add a little butterfly die cut piece that has a pretty gold foil finish on it, and I did pop that up using some foam dimension. For embellishments on my card, I'm using some gold sequins. These are not included in the kit, but they are made by Spellbinders. It's their gold smooth disc. I'll use an embellishment wand to pick those up, add just a small drop of liquid adhesive, and press them in place. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 3, the card sketch is from Mojo Monday. This is number 323. I think I used this sketch with the July kit. It's just a fun sketch, so I thought I would use it again. The background paper has lots of beautiful pink butterflies. Then I'm using some of the tone-on-tone soft burgundy pattern paper for that large rectangle piece. I'll add some Love from Lizzie peel-offs. This is the gold color in the pinstripe style. I think I used the medium width. Since the center of this pattern paper piece will be covered up with a sentiment, I'm able to use up some of the peel off scraps. I always end up with all these small pieces, but I don't throw them away because sometimes you only need a small peel off piece. I'll put some ATG tape on the back and add this panel onto the butterfly pattern paper. Then I'll layer it on some burgundy cardstock, put some ATG tape on the back, and add my card front onto a card base. Now I'll bring out a few of the die cut pieces. There's a banner that has a fun gold foil grid on the background, and I also have a sentiment die cut piece. The sentiment is "Beauty is all around," and there's a pretty gold foil detail all around the sentiment. I will pop up the sentiment using some foam dimension. I'll first adhere the banner using liquid adhesive, just trying to figure out the position. Then I'll remove the release paper and add my sentiment. I am changing up this sketch just a little bit. That's what's fun about card sketches. You can use them just for inspiration, or you can follow them exactly, whatever works best for you. Next, I'm adding a small strip of the burgundy cardstock. Instead of cutting a fishtail on the very end and creating a little banner, I decided to rip the cardstock piece so it has this fun torn edge. And I'll adhere that in place, tucking the left side underneath the sentiment. Then I'll add one of the beautiful butterfly stickers that are included in the kit. I love these. They have dimension, but they also lay down flat. Sometimes Spellbinders will sell individual items from the kit, and I saw that they do have the butterfly stickers available. So you don't even need to purchase the kit if you just love those butterfly stickers. And there is my finished card. Again, I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 4, the card sketch is from Sugar Pea Designs. This is Sugar Sketch number 36. The background pattern paper has this beautiful sunburst gold foil design. And I did cut down that paper to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I will be layering it on some black cardstock. But first I'll add a green pattern paper strip to the lower portion of the card. And I'm also adding a scallop border, and I cut this out using the gold mirror cardstock that's included in the kit. Since the gold cardstock does have a little bit of dimension, I'm adding a scrap piece of cardstock on the upper portion. That way everything stays at the same level. Then I'll adhere it to the card. And I did use some of the double-sided tape that's included in the kit to adhere that in place. I'll layer that background panel on some black cardstock, put some ATG tape on the back, and add my card front onto a card base. And for this card, I am leaving the 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Now I'll bring in a few of the die cut pieces. I have the bird cage with a beautiful floral design on top. I have a little bird, and the sentiment is "Some friendships are timeless." I will pop up the bird and also the sentiment with some foam dimension. I'll add that sentiment first and have the bird sit right on top. Not sure that bird would actually fit inside that cage, but that's okay. Then to finish up the card, I'm using some gem stickers from Spellbinders. This is the Opal color. They're not included in the kit, but I love using Spellbinders gem stickers. So very simple card design, but I love how this one turned out. For card design number 5, the card sketch is from Sugar Pea Designs. This is Sugar Sketch number 30. And this is the first time I'm trying out this sketch. I love finding different card sketches to use. For the background paper, I have white and black polka dots. For that diagonal strip, I'm using this lovely pink stripe paper. Just put some ATG tape on the back and adhere it onto the card. Then I'll flip over the panel and trim off the extra. For a little extra detail and shine along that pink paper, I'm using some Love from Lizzie peel-offs. This is the gold color in the pinstripe style, and I'm using the narrowest width. If you know you'll be covering up a certain area of your card, this is a great time to use up some of those scrap peel-off pieces. I'll flip over the panel, use my scissors to trim off those extra peel-off pieces. On that very bottom corner, I did wrap that end around the back since it's a teeny tiny piece anyway. Then I'll put some ATG tape on the back of this piece and layer it on some black cardstock. Then I can add my card front onto a card base. For most of my cardstock layers, I add an additional 1/8 of an inch to the measurements I have listed on the card sketch. If you prefer a wider matting, you can add 1/4 of an inch. Now I'll add the black and gold pattern paper piece, and I did round the bottom 2 corners. I'll just adhere that in place using some liquid adhesive. Next, I'll bring in some of the die cut pieces. There's this sweet little kitty with butterfly wings sleeping on the moon. And then I have the sentiment, dreams do come true. I'll adhere the kitty with the moon down using liquid adhesive. Before adhering the sentiment, I will add a scrap cardstock piece on the very right side. Then I'll add liquid adhesive and adhere it in place. The dies that are included in the kit have 3 little stars. They have that hand-drawn look to them. There's also an outline piece, but I decided just to use the stars. And I cut these out from the gold mirror cardstock that's included in the kit. I'll add 2 of the stars in the upper left-hand corner and 1 star to the left of the sentiment. And I'll just glue these in place using some liquid adhesive. So there is my finished card, and again, I did make 2 using this design. The little kitty with the butterfly wings is so sweet. Now moving on to card design number 6. The card sketch is from MFT. This is number 408. This kit has so many beautiful butterfly designs, and I love that most of them are pink. So here's another lovely butterfly pattern paper. Really wanted to feature that on the card. I'm also using some of the pink stripe paper. Just need narrow pieces since you won't see most of it. I'll adhere the pink stripe pattern paper down first, layering it on some black cardstock. Then I'll add the butterfly pattern paper. Instead of layering the butterfly pattern paper on black cardstock, I'm using some black Love from Lizzie peel-offs. Just put 1 along the very edge of that pattern paper. And I'll use a craft knife to trim off the very end. Then I'll put some ATG tape on the back of this piece and add my card front onto a card base. The nice thing about the butterfly pattern paper, there isn't really a specific direction up since the butterflies are flying in all different directions on the paper. For the narrow banner, I'm using a small scrap of pink cardstock that has a pearlescent finish on it. I'll cut a fishtail on both ends. I've already stamped out the sentiment. This is from the kit. By being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. It's a very lovely sentiment. Before adhering the circle die cut in place, I will put some scrap cardstock pieces above and below where it'll sit on top of that pink banner. That way it'll stay nice and level. Then I'll just adhere it in place using some liquid adhesive. The embellishments on the card are from Spellbinders. They're not included in the kit. These are their black smooth disc sequins. And the sequins come in a little plastic bag. I added them into the small plastic container. I'll use my embellishment wand to pick those up and add the sequins around the sentiment. And something I don't always show in my video, when I have that narrow strip of the pattern paper left over, I like to put it on the inside of the card just for a little extra detail. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 7, the card sketch is from OWH. This is number 176. For this card, I also used the August embossing folder. I used it on this green cardstock piece. And that green cardstock is included in the kit. It's this beautiful color. Off screen, I've already added a gold paint splatter to the background on that embossed piece. I have 2 different pattern papers, this lovely floral design, which will be on the very top. And I also have a notebook design in a soft peach color. For that narrow strip, I used some of the gold mirror cardstock. Now I did change the measurements for this card from what's listed on the card sketch. That floral paper, I really wanted a wider piece so you could see more of the lovely design. So I think that one is 1.5 inches. Also, the measurements that are listed on the sketch don't allow for cardstock layers. I added all of these pieces on some dark charcoal cardstock, and this is cardstock from my stash. Put my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. This sentiment is Smile Often, and this is included in the kit. I used the same charcoal cardstock for the sentiment. I'm adding them on some craft cardstock. I cut a fishtail on the right side. On the card sketch, it has the sentiment on the right side, but I decided to put it on the left side. To finish off the card, I'm adding some Love from Lizzie peel-offs. This is, I believe, the mink color in the mini circle style. I'm using the medium-sized circles and adding 3 of them in the lower right-hand corner. I'm trying to get all 3 of the circles in a nice straight line. I did have to fuss with that last circle just a little bit. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 8, I won't be using a card sketch. And overall, this is a very simple card design. I really wanted to feature this beautiful pattern paper with the gold dandelion seeds. So pretty and super shiny. There's also a coordinating die cut piece with the dandelion, some seeds flying away, and the sentiment is wish for it, hope for it, dream of it. Thought that was really pretty. I layered the very background pattern paper on a scallop rectangle die cut, and I cut that out from black cardstock. I'll layer that piece on some brown cardstock, kind of has a gold look to it. On the background of my card, I've already adhered the black cardstock layer for the die cut piece, and I also have a thin strip of pattern paper. It's gray and it has some gold stars. Thought that would be fun to put behind that die cut piece. So I will be popping up the sentiment. I'll remove the release paper and adhere it to my card. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll add some of the black smooth disc sequins. I'll put 2 in the upper left-hand corner and 3 in the lower right-hand corner around the sentiment. Using my embellishment wand to pick those up, adding just a small drop of Barely Art liquid adhesive, then pressing them in place. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. Overall, it's a very simple card design, but it has lots of shine with that gold foil finish. Now moving on to card design number 9. I used the August embossing folder for the background, and I also used that same green cardstock that's included in the kit. It's such a pretty color. I've already done the gold watercolor splatter to the background, and I'll add this panel onto an off-white shimmer cardstock. It's hard to tell in the video, but it does have this lovely shimmer finish. I'll put my card front onto a card base. Then using the die that's included in the kit, I cut out this fun frame from some black cardstock, putting liquid adhesive on the back side. Try to make sure to get all of those little areas. Then I'll adhere it to my card more on the left side. Next, I'll bring in some of the die cut pieces. I have a hot air balloon that has that gold foil finish on it and 2 butterflies, one in green and one in pink. And I did put foam dimension on the back of all of those die cut pieces. The green butterfly, half of it will be adhered onto the balloon, so I only put foam dimension on the left side. The pink butterfly will be in the lower right-hand corner of that frame. For the sentiment, I'm using the glitter foam stickers that are included in the kit. This is the word smile. Now these are super sticky, but I am still adding just a little bit of liquid adhesive on the back side since I'm adhering it onto an embossed background. Just want to make sure it won't come off later. Of course, I can't forget to dot my I. Then I'll also add a couple of the star glitter stickers. I'll add one of the stars next to the sentiment smile and the other star on the left side of the hot air balloon. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For the second card, I used the sentiment hello. Now moving on to card design number 10. Using my favorite card sketch. This is OWH number 218. I selected 2 different pattern papers. For that featured pattern paper, I have the little cats with the butterfly wings. And there's also a bunch of small pink and black butterflies in the background. For this strip that goes across the card, it has a sentiment all over it, but you won't really be able to read it since most of it will be covered up. For the very background of my card, I'm using one of the card bases. I cut this down to 4 inches by 5¼ inches, and I do have the linen texture showing. I used some black Love from Lizzie peel-offs along that black pattern paper strip. I did cut the peel-offs just a little bit wider than my card panel, wrap those ends around the back, then I'll put ATG tape on the back and layer this piece on some black cardstock. I'll put my card front onto a card base. I'll attach my kitty pattern paper panel using liquid adhesive. This sentiment I've already stamped out, Happy Birthday Beautiful Dreamer, and I stamped it on some of the pink polka dot pattern paper. Layer that piece on some black cardstock, and I did cut the fishtail on the left side. Before adhering it to my card, I will put a small scrap cardstock piece on the very left side, then I'll adhere that sentiment in place using liquid adhesive. While I was making this card, I didn't have any black cardstock scraps sitting next to me, so I just grabbed some of the burgundy cardstock. I'll adhere that in place using some liquid adhesive. I'll also add one of the butterfly die cut pieces. I have some foam dimension on the back side. Remove the release paper and adhere it on the right side of the sentiment. I'll use some Love from Lizzie peel-offs, the black color in the mini circle style. Put 3 of them in the upper left-hand corner. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll add a little bit of sparkle to the butterfly wings using a clear glitter brush. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I really like all the beautiful pink butterflies that are included in this kit. Now here's another look at the 20 cards I made using Spellbinders August 2022 Card Kit of the Month and also the August Embossing Folder of the Month. If you are interested in subscribing to any of Spellbinders Club kits, I do have links provided in the description box below. In order to receive the kits I used in this video, you do need to subscribe by August 28th. If there are leftover kits from previous months, Spellbinders does sell those individually without needing to subscribe. And I will have a link for subscriptions and also those past kits in the description box below. Spellbinders also has a UK website where you can purchase their products and also their club kits. And I will add links for both of the websites in the description box below. And coming very soon, I will be sharing my card video using the large die of the month. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.